Margaret, there's a wee green man crawling up my leg.
So, what's the best Transformers gimmick? What's that? Combiners? No. Throttlebots? No. Pretenders? Come on, you're just being silly now. It's triple changers, isn't it? You don't just get a robot that changes into one other thing. You get a robot that changes into two other things. Three for the price of one. Great stuff, eh? Like an epic double reveal on Drag Race. I mean, some of them are utter shite. I'm looking at you, Broadside. How can you be an aircraft carrier and a jet as well? That's mental. What size are you? Are you huge or tiny? Make your mind up. Anyway, today we're going to have a look at Springer and Blitzwing. Do you ever just irrationally hate someone? Someone you know isn't a bad person, but the thought of being left alone with them gives you a panic attack and subsequent night terrors. That's how I feel about Springer. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just so dull. What even is his personality? He's so vanilla. He's a good guy, but I can't think of a single personality trait. Look at someone like Ironhide. He's battle-hardened, stoic, always ready for a fight. Cliff Jumper. He's just like a wee robotic version of Scrappy Doo, isn't he? Wheeljack. He's a scientist, an inventor, and a big old robot geek. What is Springer? He's just a dull as dishwater, robotic, jolly green giant, isn't he? For instance, when he was introduced in the 86 movie, what did he actually do? Well, he helped RC transform Autobot City by pulling a wee lever. Okay, not great. He helped RC get onto the shuttle when the Autobots were escaping Galvatron. Okay, that's a bit better. He then had a shite fight with Wreck-Gar, in which he was saved by Daniel. Bloody Daniel. A small, mentally challenged child. Springer really didn't do that much at all, did he? He was just there, and because of that, of course, I had to get him for my collection of 86 movie bots. This here is Legacy Wreck and Roll Springer, and I actually hate him. When you're trying to get a mainline Springer, you have two less than ideal options. The animation accurate Siege version with battle damage, looking like he's been thrown from a moving car, or this version. Wreck and Roll Springer isn't battle damaged, thankfully, but he has the original toy colour scheme, which is an even shitter mix of Springer's usual snot green and piss yellow layout. I went for the latter, as all my wee fellas are kept as immaculate as the Pope's toilet. I don't want my wee fellas looking like they've got all pissed up on distilled energon and taken a tumble down a long flight of stairs. Still though, he doesn't look great. I really don't like this pea green. It's like something Linda Blair would throw up over a member of the clergy. His wee head is meant to be two-tone green, but the shades are so close together it's barely noticeable and ends up looking similar to the contents of a used tissue. I hate this stupid pea head. It's like Dr. Honeydew from the Muppets wearing a silly Centurion helmet. Since he's Wreck and Rule Springer, he's got this blue Wreckers badge instead of the typical red Autobot badge. Thanks. I hate it. His lower legs are this boring tone of grey. He really needs something to break this up. A wee pop of any colour that isn't snot green. It just looks lazy and boring, and I hate it. I hate him. I hate him so much. The absolute worst part about Springer is how he feels. He's so wibbly, and he feels like he's going to fall apart as soon as you pick him up. Forget posing, this wee robotic Shrek-coloured simpleton. His feet are attached by this one wee pin, and they're so loose he struggles to stand up in any pose apart from straight up. At least the sculpting looks good. He's got good proportions. I mean, he's not horribly disfigured or anything. If you could only see in black and white, he wouldn't really be that bad. I do prefer this design to anything in the Michael Bay movies, but that's like saying I prefer a Roland Tolley to a Peace and Maggot. Springer turns into this futuristic space car in this wee space helicopter. Would a helicopter work in space? There's no air for the wee blades to create downforce, but the inertia of the blades might move them forward. Ugh, it doesn't matter, does it? Do you care? I don't care. A space helicopter is bloody ridiculous, like an underwater bloody unicycle. Sorry, moving on. Although the process of transforming the horrible putrid wee turd goblin is one of the worst I've ever dealt with, seriously, I'm never transforming again after this, both of these alt modes are decent enough. They look like what they're meant to be. It's the same as Scourge is just a Scourge, you know? The blue of the windscreen also helps to break up the sea of mucus and dull grey. Plus, the rotors in the helicopter spin remarkably well, like a wee fidget spinner, only even more shite if that's possible. Both the car and the helicopter do look quite similar though. It's not like he turns inside out or transforms from a wheelbarrow to a stealth bomber. You know this is just the same guy with bits moved about. Again, boring. Boring. I hate you. I hate you so much, Springer. Anyway, I'm done with Springer. Fuck him. Let's move on to someone I actually really like. Someone who I think has been treated rather unfairly due to one bad alt mode. This, my friends, is Legacy Blitzwing, and compared to Springer, he's just awesome. Although Blitzwing didn't really have many scenes in the 86 movie, his one bit was bloody great, wasn't it? Swooping down in his jet mode and transforming into a tank, taking aim at Hot Rod and Daniel before Cup got his hero moment and saved the day by pulling hard on Blitzwing's big old pipe and chucking him down a mountain. Great stuff. Also, Blitzwing's Spotlight episode Triple Takeover is one of the most joyously goofy pieces of nonsense in all of the G1 cartoon. I love this purple prince, and this toy is a fitting representation of his goofy greatness. Look at this robot mode. My boy is chonky. His head reminds me of the T-1000 from Terminator 2 with his shades and motorcycle helmet, except in margarine yellow and ruby red. Our devilish Decepticon dude is packed with detail. I love all the wee bits and bobs picked out in his chest, and this jaggy detailing on his thighs is just delightful. The dark purple and bright yellow also make Blitzwing look like he's been sponsored by Cadbury Caramel. That bunny still makes me feel funny. Oh, no one under the age of 30 will understand that reference, will they? Blitzwing has been criticised for the size of his backpack, but have those folk even seen his original design? Bloody hacks, he's super accurate here. With his sticky out wings and pokey up tank barrel backpack, he feels so chunky, I love it. Even though his big shoulder pads limit his arm movement slightly, they look great. Like the ultimate 80s shoulder pad power dress. Our boy is fierce. I really don't have many complaints at all with Blitzwing's robot mode. If you nitpick, you could say the wee panels that fold up behind his forearms are a bit shite. They don't lock in anywhere, so they just float about. The fact that they're even here to cover up his wee empty gaps is great though. You don't often see that attention to detail. Even on a lovely big fella like Grimlock here, his forearms look like that infamous picture of Goatsy. Don't look up Goatsy if you've never heard of him. You can never unsee that kind of thing. Obama! Let's get the worst part over with. Blitzwing's jet mode is pretty pish. From the top, it looks bloody smashing. I love the colour combo of this deep purple and the transparent red of the cockpit. From side on, though, it all falls apart. You do have to make some concessions with triple changers, but this is quite pish. It's so unaerodynamic, you'd have to consult Bob Lazar to understand how this can fly. It's blatantly obvious that there's a tank just stapled under here, but it's not all that bad. I love how his wings splay out from his legs. That's dead clever, and the plane feels so very solid, unlike shitty Springer, so you can swoosh it about with confidence. Blitzwing's tank mode is loads more cohesive. Although some absolute bloody nerds have made the point that this is a different model of tank from the one in the cartoon, it's still a tank, isn't it? A box with treads and a gun on top. What more do you want? A big fuss has been made of this wee sticky out cockpit, as folk think it looks like the tank has maybe seen the Cadbury Caramel Bunny. I'll not lie, I kinda love it. It's deliciously stupid, and it makes old Blitzwing's tank mode stand out amongst the other tank boys. It's good for a wee giggle, isn't it? So, should you get these two? Blitzwing is a no-brainer. He's bloody great, and what a triple changer should aspire to be. He feels amazing, has a top-notch robot mode, and that tank mode makes me chuckle. As Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Springer though, if you're not into the 86 movie, I say fuck him. As a Transformer, he's rubbish. As a guy, he's boring and he looks bloody sickening. Not in the good drag queen sense. He actually looks like something that would come out of you when you've been sick. This is the worst Transformer I own, and I hate that I feel obligated to have him in my movie box collection. I hate you, Springer. I hope you are the first to contract and then die of robot AIDS. Maybe that might make you a little bit more interesting. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Catch you later.